requested my sperm donor's records when I turned 18. The name on the file was my best friend's dad. I spent my entire childhood wondering where I came from, and the day I turned 18, I drove straight to the fertility clinic and filled out the paperwork to request my donor's records because I needed to know who gave me half my DNA. My parents always said they didn't know anything about him, and maybe that was true, or maybe they just didn't want to tell me. But either way, I was done waiting for answers that were never going to come. I need to come over right now because I have something insane to show you, I said when Lottie picked up the phone, and when I got there, I handed her the document without another word. She looked at it and laughed. Why do you have my dad's name and our address on a piece of paper? I handed her the cover letter from the clinic and watched her face change as she read it. She stared at me for a long time and then started smiling. Oh my god, we always joked about being like sisters and now we actually are, she said, and she grabbed my hands and started jumping up and down. We're half sisters. This is the most insane thing that has ever happened to me. We have to tell my dad right now. She dragged me into the living room where her dad was watching TV and shoved the paper in his face. Dad, your sperm donation from college turned into my best friend. Say something. He went pale and sat there for a long time. I donated when I was 19 because I needed rent money, he finally said. I never thought I'd actually meet anyone from it. Lottie was already planning how we'd tell everyone at school and picking out matching necklaces and talking about how we needed DNA tests to make it official. I watched her bounce around the room and something in my chest finally unclenched because I had spent 18 years feeling like I came from nowhere, and now I came from somewhere, from someone, from a family I already loved. Her dad was quiet, but he kept looking at me like he was seeing me for the first time, and when I got up to leave, he hugged me and said, I always wanted another daughter. By the end of the night, we had ordered 2 DNA kits, and Lottie made me promise to come back in 3 weeks so we could open the results together. The kits arrived, and we spit in the tubes at Lottie's kitchen table while her mom made dinner. What are you two doing? Her mom said, and Lottie said, we're proving we're sisters, and her mom laughed and said, you two have always acted like sisters anyway. I kept looking at her dad reading his newspaper and thinking about how I had his nose and his earlobes and maybe his stubbornness too. We mailed the tests and I went home and waited. Lottie texted me every day asking if my results were in yet, and every day I caught myself staring at old photos of her family trying to find more of myself in them. I started noticing things I'd never noticed before, like how Lottie's mom and I both tilt our heads the same way when we're confused, or how we both hate cilantro, or how our handwriting looks almost identical. I convinced myself I was imagining things because I wanted so badly to belong to this family that I was seeing connections that weren't there. 3 weeks later, I was back at her house when we both got the notification at the same time. I'm opening mine first, Lottie said, and she tapped the notification and stared at the screen and her face changed. What does it say? I asked, and she didn't answer. Lottie, what does it say? She turned the phone toward me and I looked at the match percentage and my stomach dropped. This is wrong, she said. Dad, she called out, and he came over and she showed him the screen. Why does it say full sibling? He looked at the results and his face went blank. What's everyone looking at? Her mom said, walking in from the kitchen, and Lottie turned the phone toward her. Her mom looked at the screen and then looked at me and her face went completely still. Mom, Lottie said. Her mom sat down slowly on the arm of the couch. I donated my eggs when I was in college, she said quietly. I needed money for tuition. It was before your father and I even met. I never told anyone because I was ashamed. Lottie's dad stared at his wife. You donated eggs and you never told me? Her mom nodded, tears running down her face now. He looked at me and then back at his wife and said, we made a baby before we even met each other. All those similarities I noticed with her mom weren't in my head. Lottie walked over to me and wrapped her arms around me so tight I couldn't breathe. You're my real sister, she said into my shoulder. You've been my real sister this whole time. Before anyone could move, my phone buzzed in Lottie's hand. She looked at the screen and her face went white. What is it? I whispered, and she turned the phone around to show me a new notification. Another full sibling match had just appeared in the system.